What's up, guys? This is Max. Today we're going to be doing a pick a card reading. We're going to do things a little bit differently now. And this pick a card in particular, we're going to be looking into parts of ourselves that we have a really difficult time looking into. And oftentimes it's because we had some sort of trauma in the past. Therefore, it makes it a lot difficult for us to just go back and really rescue that part of ourselves. It's also called shadow work. But today, yes, we're going to be doing a pick a card. We have 3 piles. I have already shuffled the decks and taken the cards. Haven't looked at them yet, but that's the best way to do it so that I can really focus on the intuitive message rather than the cards that are coming out. So the first one is going to be pile 1, 2, and then 3. All right. Take some time to look at the cards, and once you made your decision, go ahead and pick by going to the timestamp or however you like it. Okay, pile 1. Let's see what you got here. There you go. You know when you have such a yearning to go and do things, but you are limited not really by the things that you control, but by things that are going outside of your control. And to be perfectly honest, pile 1, it's not even because it's not meant for you, but we're having a really big problem with ego, right? It's about what you want at the time that you want, and that's not something that really is going to work moving forward, right? Not that you're incapable of, but rather because there is a lesson behind it. And it comes back to really how you were restricted for a good portion of your life. The fact that you could never really go after what you wanted, the fact that you could never, like, you had the inspiration for it, whether that is, playing sports, whatever it may be when you were younger. But you always face that opposition that never let you truly be who you wanted to be. Not because they didn't believe that you couldn't be, but rather because they themselves didn't believe that they could. And therefore it trickled down to you. Right now, you are facing a whole new world, basically. And you can, in fact, go after what you want. But life is happening in a way where limitations are being put in front of you so that you can learn from those limitations. Sometimes sheer willpower is not enough. There needs to be a purpose as well. And the purpose can't be for what it is benefiting me. Why is it benefiting me? Is it benefiting me? But rather, what can I offer to everybody in the world? What is my gift? What can I do to help better people's lives? It's a lot more meaningful when the approach is that versus trying to prove a point to yourself and to others out of an egoic place. It's not a fight, because God is looking down and he's just kind of shaking his head, to be perfectly honest. That's not really, that shouldn't be the why. Because ultimately, even when you are recognized, even when you do achieve those things that you achieve, you put yourself in the cycle of that never ender. That, okay, how much more validation do I need until I feel good about myself? Instead of you really wanting to help others empower themselves for their own good, it's more so directed towards self, towards recognition of self, needing that validation. But it's not about that. Your story, yes, it is inspiring to others, but what else? What else are you giving aside from inspiration? Because there's so much more that you can give in a truthful way, but you are putting on a pedestal something that frankly is temporary. It comes and goes. But the message is more important than anything, because people can take that message and go through really hard tribulations and be able to come out on the other side. And guess what? That legacy that you left for those people, it trickles down to others, because those people then pass it on. It's very difficult for us to step a little bit out of our ego and really look at everybody. What's everybody gaining from it? That comes with really looking into that aspect of, you know what? I don't need that validation. But really, when you put yourself in that position, you're walking in the dark, not really. You're walking in the dark alone. Though it is scary, it oftentimes leads to self-acceptance. And with self-acceptance, there is no need for validation. So what should we do? be truthful and honest. Do not say words, do not take actions looking to really do what others want you to do. Rather, be bold and say how it needs to be said in all truth. Sometimes it will trigger others. It will trigger maybe anger even. And not disappointment, but animosity with others. But is that truth that is so bright that even if that happens, they have no choice but to accept the message? You know, there's that saying, the truth will set you free. I mean, it surely will, whether one likes it or not. It's not about you being liked or accepted. It's about you standing to your integrity, because you have worked so hard to be in this place, in this position, and to tell others how to do something or how to live their lives in a way that is probably not the most genuine, just so you can have heads nodding your way. As long as you are in full integrity, and yes, words can be cutting, but at the same time, they can free. Because at this point, when you do that, you are free and liberated from needing that validation. At that point, you are independent to take reins of your life. And though the path that you are making might cast others to the side abruptly, it will eventually free them. And the right people will remember. Okay? That's what I have, Pile 1. Thanks so much for watching. If you like, give it a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. A pile number 2. Let's see what we got here. There you go, that's good. Okay. All right, pile number 2. Understand one thing. Okay. This is to be strong, to be somebody who has great strength, who's tough, doesn't mean that they have a tough external shell. To truly be strong and brave is to be able to open up yourself, to be able to be vulnerable with others, to connect with others. I know in this world that we are living right now, it's a form of protection, to be able to protect ourselves, to be able to be in a safe position. It's very difficult now to look at or find people that are open with their heart, with who is comfortable being themselves, being loving to others. It's difficult to find somebody who, you know, they go to a coffee shop or wherever, and whoever is attending to them, whoever's taking care of them, is greeted with, "Hey, how you doing? What's your name? How's your day going?" It's rare. We are really, and this is not just here in this reading. It's, I mean, I think everybody has some part to play in this, especially when trying to get to know somebody else on a romantic level. It's hard to open up of yourself and to let that person in, and really to not know whether that person is going to hurt you or not. But if nobody is willing to really look at themselves and see that your heart is closed off, that you won't let the other person in. I mean, it goes both ways. So who's going to do it first, right? Who's going to allow? I understand that there was a lot of hurt before, but it takes courage to allow yourself to be vulnerable, especially after being hurt so many times. How strong are you? How brave are you? It's not about giving and expecting something, especially when it comes to love. Love is just love, and it doesn't restrict. It rather flows. And although it is, especially nowadays, it is really hard to bloom out of that mud, it will only make you a more attractive person. The allowing, the openness. And oftentimes relationships are really the catalyst for us to be able to see really what the hell is wrong with us, with ourselves. How wounded we are, and how much we have to work and climb uphill in order to get out of that. It is a process, exhausting at times too, because it sits with you. It stays. And whenever we do feel that hurt, we try to look elsewhere so that we don't have to look into it. But that hurt is the very same thing that is able to help you heal, as long as you look at it. It's like that kid, like yourself, when you were little and neglected or chastised, whatever it may be, whatever situation you went through. It hurts to look at that. But as an adult now, if you're able to go back and sit down with that kid, if you just look within yourself and you start to really be there for that kid, just hold space, something that you wanted somebody to do for so long, especially the ones that you loved the most. If you're able to do that for yourself, then you start to see that's where the healing starts to happen. It's not right away. That's not how it works. But that kid starts to simmer down. It won't cry as much. It will feel loved. And something really interesting happens when that happens. When you start to look at that kid and hold that space, ultimately that kid comes back and rescues you. In the time that you never really expected. It comes out of nowhere. When you don't think anybody can rescue you, that kid shows up. And they go, I got you. Not only for holding space, but literally taking you out of the shitter. So allow yourself to go back. Sometimes going back makes us move forward. And this is really an approach that you have to have with yourself. So that then you can come to peace with yourself. It's not about talking to the person who did the damage. It's not even about that, because at that point you're playing the victim and you don't need to play that victim. That's not you. That's not who you are. What needs to be done, what your responsibility is to look within yourself, talk to that part of yourself who was neglected, hold space for it, and start to heal that. Be that parent that you needed for yourself. Because guess what? That kid will grow up and he will take care of you. Okay? All right, Pile 2, that's what I have. If it resonated, if you liked it, like, share, subscribe. And I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye. All right, pal 3. Let us see what we have for you. What a strong individual you are. Wow. You have a very strong base. You are a solid person. Very solid. You have a lot on your shoulders. And life has not been easy. And every obstacle that you faced, you were able to overcome. But the question is, why do you have to be so strong for everybody? Are you not allowed to have your moments of weakness? Is it your burden to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders? Because it feels like nobody can save you, but everybody needs saving. That doesn't sound fair. You did, as a result, you became the person who you are. You wear your scars very proudly, in fact. But you also put yourself in a position of impossibility. Nobody really can match to you, therefore nobody can join you. You are proud of who you are, but you also want somebody to be there with you. You don't want to be alone. You want to be able to be vulnerable. You need that equilibrium. You need to be just you, not the hero. You don't want to be the hero. You don't need to be the hero. Because the truth is, heroes, they either die as heroes or they live long enough to become the villain. And the last thing that you want is to be the villain. You don't need to paint yourself as that perfect person. Nobody's perfect. We're all filled with flaws. But that's what makes us humans. That's what's so perfect about us, is our imperfections. It's the fact that we can fail, but we can thrive. To know that life is an everlasting challenge, that we always can learn more from others, from everybody, in fact. Again, the moment you fall from grace is the moment you become the villain. And that's too much pressure for you. but why are we like this? Do we always have to be strong for everybody? I think so. But in retrospective, if you look back to everybody that you have helped, you still love them the way that they were. Not because they were perfect. So why are you doing that to yourself? It's ironic that the one person who you call hero was the one that had the most flaws. They were never the villain, really. No matter how bad they were, they were always considered the hero. Allow yourself to be human. Because that's where the perfection is. Not in this impossible figure that you're trying to show the world. Because that's not who you are. Just be. Okay? All right, Pile 3. If it resonated, like, share, subscribe. And if you want more, make sure to stay tuned for the next time. Good luck.